We are back, everybody, on your hometown station, Santa Clarita's AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. John?
It's the Radio Digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette, free classified. It's all you need to know to be in the know.
What you really need to know to be in the know is talk to Robert Patrick Lewis.
There is that.
Our national correspondent.
I have to school him. He takes a couple weeks off, he forgets everything. Robert!
Yo!
Been a while.
Robert, I want to jump in here and do something a little different before we talk about the debate, okay?
Uh-oh, I don't like change.
See if this sounds familiar.
You can kill him in his sleep if
This
you want.
isn't just a take out the big kid on the block kind of invasion. They're here for most of our resources. We ticked them off, paraphrased, most of the world. Our bankers bankrupted everyone, and when we bailed them out and destroyed the dollar, the people holding our debts decided our money was no good. But our oil, natural gas, minerals, and such definitely were. The second China realized we couldn't pay back the trillions of dollars we owed them, the wheels went into motion. Folks, that is from the book The Pact by Robert Patrick Lewis. Now, Rob, you wrote that, right? Of course.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that could actually happen in real life?
Well, let's see. I had a conversation with somebody in the office about that maybe 3 or 4 hours ago because I had just made a purchase in Bitcoin, and I said, the one thing about this, no matter what happens to our currency and no matter, even if I have to run out of the country shortly with my family because of something's going on, this can follow me anywhere. And, it's unfortunate, and I would like to wish that it wouldn't happen, but, yeah, I believe it can happen. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, like every bubble that you've ever seen burst in the stock market, real estate market, anything like that, every economy, every country, every society has to have the reset button pushed every once in a while. And I think we're at the precipice of a pretty big bubble. And if we don't change our politics, if we don't change our current, the way that the financial sector can pretty much influence what our politicians do, then, yeah, I see it coming. Because, the Chinese, they look at things for the long term. Russia, they look at things for the long term. We're the only ones that look at things in 4-year political cycles.
Right.
And everybody else is pretty sick of our stuff at this point.
Yeah, good point.
Now, let me ask you this, based on the debate, and we'll get in a little bit detail on the debate in a minute, but do you think the guys up there last night have a clue how to handle what you're talking about?
I think some do, but, Trump had a really good point, man. They were trying to hammer on that, but he said, hey, I donate to everybody because when I donate, they do what I want.
Yeah.
And, hey, I know a lot of people in the establishment especially don't want Trump up there because he knows he's played that game. That's the unfortunate thing. A lot of other people up there don't, and that's, I don't know. I saw a lot of blank stares, and I heard an awful lot of sound bites.
Political speech.
But political speech,
Exactly.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of, like, hey, this is what this person actually thinks. And that's why that's why Donald Trump scares them so much, because he just says what he thinks. He doesn't stop for political correctness. He doesn't stop for that. Rand Paul, that's another thing about Rand Paul is he's not on the hook for all these big money guys. So it's funny that the people that seem to care the most about America are the people that the GOP establishment hates the most.
Right.
Jeb Bush looked the most uncomfortable up there out of the whole bunch, and he's their golden boy, and he looked like he didn't even know where he was.
Yep.
Okay, you want to make yourself feel better about this whole thing? Go online and Google a picture of Rand Paul and Martin Short.
Okay.
Okay, you'll feel a lot better about the whole thing.
It's funny.
You'll feel a whole lot better. At first I thought Beaker from the Muppets, but Martin Short was the right way to go.
Yeah, I wish he could. He was smirking too much. I mean, that's the thing. He made some really good points, but his smirks, I think, would probably cost him a lot.
Yeah, and I think that, if you're going to pick a fight with somebody, Governor Christie, I don't know whether Rand Paul would have been the one I would have gone after. And if you're Rand Paul, you got to put Governor Christie away.
Yeah.
A lot more than he did.
Well, and that's the thing. I think Christie dug his own grave a long time ago with the Bridgegate, hugging Obama, all the different things that he's done. He's made some pretty classic GOP mistakes that you can't probably come back from. I was surprised he was on the top 10 stage.
But you know something? Do you know something? I thought he came across okay last night. I was surprised. I thought, because once again, what do you hear? You hear what the press wants you to hear.
Right.
And you hear a bumbling big buffoon from New Jersey. It's New Jersey's gonna fall off into the ocean before he ever gets elected because they're gonna just implode. And I thought he had some legitimate points to score.
He did, and he bounced back from because he's one of the most strict supporters of NSA blind wiretapping and all the stuff that's going on with the intrusion into the Fourth Amendment. Him and Jeb Bush are the two that really support that, and he did take a good side where, hey, you're gonna get me on this, and I've openly said that I support the NSA blindly wiretapping anybody we want. Well, here's why: because 9/11. So he's got that. He was in New Jersey. That's good point. Like he took it well on the chin, and hey, more power to him. He didn't back off.
Right.
He straight up said, "Yes, I did that." The political move would have been to bob and weave and do what everybody else did all night, and not answer a question straight up and just bob and weave. Yeah, he actually answered the question, so hey, more power to him.
Yeah, like Jeb Bush without answering an education question without mentioning the words Common Core. It's like, come on, man.
Well, education and Jeb Bush, I don't think should ever be put in the same sentence.
Wow. Okay.
And the guy works in the financial sector. So
when you get that IRS audit, when you get the IRS audit, you spoke against the Bushes. Ooh. It's like speaking against the Clintons.
I fought for two of those guys.
There you go.
The third one can't really give me too much slack.
Hey, Robert, can you hang on until after the break?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220. Our special guest, Robert Patrick Lewis, author, Green Beret, because you can never be a former Green Beret, right, Robert? And all-around good guy.
Author of The Pact, a great book, everybody.
There you go. Oh, you finally read it?
Yeah, and the only thing I didn't like about it, Robert, it ended too soon. When's the sequel coming out?
Hey, thanks my sister. That was actually going to end about 10 pages earlier when the guy started to explain everything.
Right.
I just left it there as a cliffhanger, and my sister called me back angrily like 48 hours after I gave it to her and said, if you do that, I will murder you. So that's why I added the ending. That was going to be the beginning of the next book, but the beginning of the next book is actually cool because you get to see the front of World War III.
All right, AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station. We'll be right back.
You do need to know.
There you go. And you were out of practice.
That's why you're listening to the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds for all you need to know to be in the know. Most importantly, though, you're listening to Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS, and our guest right now is our national correspondent, Mr. Robert Patrick Lewis.
And Robert, all I want is a small little part in the movie, okay? Moving on.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on the script right now.
I just want a small little part. I just want a walk-on part. I don't even have to say a word. I could be one of those guys that gets killed. Well, I won't say where I get killed because that would kind of give it away. But I'll just be one of the guys, one of the sheep. How's that?
I want to be one of the guys that blows people away.
We go to the Middle East in the third book, so you don't want to be
really?
in the Middle East. It doesn't end well for those
No,
guys.
not a sheep in the Middle East.
So what do you do with your kids when you go to the Middle East?
We're not.
Oh, never mind. Seriously, have you thought about that? Where's your kids going to do when you're in the Middle East?
The whole thing's all mapped out.
He's got the whole thing all worked out.
Okay.
The way that I write is I write all the bullet points as I go, and the rest of my time spent writing a book is just connecting the dots.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the way to do it. All right, so we're doomed. China's going to invade us. We've got no hope.
$20 trillion
there were 17
debt.
buffoons. We have all the debt, and Hillary's going to win, right? Is that about it?
But hey, we've got a presidential contest to put all of our attention on. So hey, who cares? Let's have a party.
And hey, the guy who shot the lion's going to get taken care of or something.
Yeah.
He's going to get extradited. All right, so let's talk about the Iran deal, okay? Because I wanted to have you on to talk about that one because that one stumps me.
Yeah.
I understand the verify and some of the stuff that they tried to do, but didn't they just kick the can down the road 10 years?
Yeah, essentially. Well, that's kind of all that we do anymore, right? Like we're starting to understand that, the big part of geopolitics is projecting your power, right? That's why you have a big military. That's that whole idea that to secure peace is to prepare for war, right? That's why I have the biggest baddest military in the world to help you understand that if you do something that pisses me off, I'm going to nuke you, as Margaret Thatcher said, until future generations are glowing in the dark, right? But now people kind of know that we're not going to do that, right? They know that this administration, we've changed our tone. We may still have the biggest, baddest military in the world. This administration is doing everything they can to destroy the morale and take away what we do have. And they know that we won't use that anymore, right? So that's one of those things that's kind of all that we do is kick the can down the road. We don't project our power. We don't have a president that can stand up there anymore and say, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Right.
because Mr. Gorbachev would just go, screw you, I'm going to do what I want. Because he knows he's not going to do anything. They knew Reagan. They knew that piss him off and he'll send the Third Army after you.
Yeah, exactly.
Obama, he'll have a press release and go back on, Jon Stewart or something.
And tell
Hey,
Republicans.
Robert, let me ask you this. What can you imagine what is in those side deals that they can't tell anybody about? What would you guess is in those side deals?
Natural gas, So I'll go if they were smart, right? One of the big things, and one of the reasons I wrote the pact, one of the things that kind of gave me the onus to do that was this idea that Iran and Russia have been brokering these natural gas deals for a very long time.
Yep.
Russia is an oil oligopoly, right? So they are an oil oligarchy. They run off a lot of oil. That's why there are these mega billionaires in Russia, because they work in the energy sector. So they're getting a lot of their natural gas from Iran. If I were at a political bargaining table with Iran and I was trying to mitigate the threat from Russia, that would be one of my big things. Stop supplying Russia so much natural gas, cut those lines, whatever you could do.
Yeah.
However, I don't think anyone in our current administration is smart enough to do that or even has the cojones to ask for that. So who knows? Probably they don't, watch or drink Coca-Cola on Thursdays or something stupid like that when it should have been natural gas.
It could even been the hostages, but they don't want to announce it or something silly like that.
Do you think it could be the hostages?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they really care much about those.
Yeah.
We're releasing hostages and not even asking them to be hostages. So
why are we such wimps?
I think so. Okay, back to the debates from last night.
You got a minute for why we're such wimps. Ready? Go.
Political correctness.
There you go. We don't have time for that.
We're afraid to do the right thing if it offends somebody. I read an article in the Washington Times this morning about special operations being a white man's game and not being diverse enough. And the thing that really, really pisses me off about that is I went to selection with like 400 people, and I think there were maybe 24 guys that weren't white, right? And so you can't make the team if you don't show up to tryouts. And so to blame special operations, lack of diversity, on some kind of nefarious purpose, and not the fact that, as one black cook that I met when I was in the Army said, you crazy crackers can have your jumping out of airplanes because I ain't going to do it. It's just, if people don't want to do something, you can't force diversity into something that just certain people don't want to do.
Right.
It's just the way that it shows up. And again, you can't make the varsity team if you don't show up to try out. And again, political correctness is forcing diversity down people's throats.
All right, Robert. So we're going to be around next week to have a show, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I'll take that as
he meant society.
I meant society as a whole.
Society as a whole.
I'll take society as a whole. I guess Robert took off, but good. Well, I'm hoping society as a whole will be around next week so we can do another radio show.
Hey, if not, I'll be across the border with my Bitcoins.
There you go. All right. Once again, Doug, great show. Robert, Patrick Lewis, thanks very much. You've been listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We're out.
See you next week.